that was always going to happen. Well, I'm confused. Lemkes decided to park in the wrong location. And... well, I don't know what's going on after that. Anyway. So, we're going to see, first of all, the stake of Kalle Pukinen is going to be the first driver to set a lap time here. Anyway, DRS about to be wide open. Up the hill we go. On the run down to turn 1. Have to be very careful here to not lose the car into turn 1, now to turn 2, now up to turn 3, where traction can be a bit of an issue here. On the hill of turn 4, another traction heavy zone, but the Finnish driver handles that very well. DRS wide open again. Sorry, Kalle. I've got to get another driver back into the grid. Oh, God. Okay, 1 second. As Giovanni does go fastest so far. There he is. And Julian Peters going even faster than Mr. Kennis. So, at the moment, Una Vega has set his car into P3. Camille, I can't remember your second name, sorry. At the moment, Jadko, I hope I pronounced that correctly, as he's after leaving the session. I'm not sure what's happening here. It's all chaos at the moment. We're just trying to get drivers back in as I'm now connecting to online services. So somehow we've lost 3 drivers already. I'm not too sure. There will be a restart anyway at the end of qualifying, so these drivers will get in. As we're going to keep trying to get Mr. Ryan Coco back into the lobby. Part of being a host sometimes just is, okay, he's reset. Just kind of making sure everyone gets in. New Callum Lyons, which what's your name now? There's a lot of new drivers here. who's recently taken the full-time seat in the Mercedes. Callum Morris on the P5. Darius Badina, after sticking his car into P6 at the moment with a 116.690. You're looking at the mid 115s, I'd say, for pole position. Malvin Allens in a return to Ero. A person who kind of comes and goes in and out of Ero instead of 120.521, not reflective of the skill he possesses. Axel Foley is somehow in F1. I have no idea what's going on here, but he's on a hot lap. I think got a whole lot of battery left. I don't think anybody else is. Oh, yes, Captain Guan is setting a lap. Mr. Thom van den Berg. And he'll be looking to make an impression. And the Top Guns here. What? As Thom does improve, but not enough to get ahead of Matador, Camel, Jatko, who's in P7 at the moment, but unfortunately for them is DC'd. As Swifty cannot get into the lobby at the moment. As there is there's a few drivers there on the track. Malvin into turn 1 here, up to the pink that is 2, now up to 3. All topsy-turvy in this part of the track. Now DRS wide open on the run down to turn 5, as that's a purple sector 1 for Malvin. What can he do here? Has to make a slight adjustment there on the exit of 5. Not really what you want, but anyway, through 6 and 7 we go. This horrible hill, very easy to lose the car here. Have to be very smooth here with this throttle application. And this long, sweeping right-hander, reminiscent of guitar, but with a bit of hills. Some of the last part of the second section guitar can be quite like that. And what is it going to be for Mr. Allens as he crosses around the final corner? It's going to be in the 16s, I think. It's going to be a 116.976, so it's not really good enough at the moment. Julian Peters, though, is the man to beat in the 115s. The only driver in the 115s. There's less than 8 minutes to go in qualifying. Giovanni is going to unfortunately invalidate his next attempt, so it's going to be back to the drawing board for him. Unai Vega currently improving. Is it going to be enough that he's improved by 4/10? It's going to keep him P3 at the moment. Stake. It's a stake. Then Mercedes alternating 2, 3, 3, 4. And Callum Morris in P5 at the row. Darius Bodine in P6. He's kind of, I think he's giving up. No, he's still pushing on. Look, he gave up there. 1 second. Yeah, he's giving up. On his attempt, Malvin's invalidated. As we've seen, he's probably back into the pits. Shadow on his first attempt is going to be in the 118s. And he's at a 118.109. Elliot Arbin yet to set a time yet. And Julian looks to be going even faster here, does he? He does indeed, by over a 10th. Into the 115.8s now. This man has got speed. And Unai Vega is about to set off on another lap, or he's about to come into the pits, one of the two. recently finally found a new esports team after a long search for him. Just over 5.5 minutes to go in qualifying here. Is Calais about to start another lap? Julian on his way back into the pits, that's for certain. As he decides to take out a few of the F124 boards. Good man, Julian. Callum Morris about to start. Nope, he's going into it as well. So next up is the Romanian driver Darius Bodin. What's he going to set now as he passes around the final corner? Really hugging that inside line. He's not going to set a time either because he's going to dive into the pits. So the whole field currently in the pits. In their boxes. Just waiting for time to dwindle down a little bit more. And at the moment it's all Julian Peters. It's all going the Belgian man's way. Really much else to say what's going on here. As we do indeed see a Haas come out. And that'll be Axel Foley. He's going to get out nice and early just to kind of avoid the chaos or shenanigans towards the end of qualifying. And still no other driver coming out. Giovanni is the next driver out. So we will be right on board with him for his final lap attempt. So here we go, majority of the field back out now. Shadow, the only driver it looks like who's not out. There's a few other drivers in the box, they might be the ones aren't in the lobby. So round the final corner we go. DRS wide open as Mr. Kenneth tries to unseat Mr. Peters into turn 1, braking around the 50-meter board into 6th gear. That's all nice and clean as you'd expect. Now up the hill we go for turn 3. What can we do here? Traction very, very important here. Keeps it so smooth and steady here. DRS wide open again. Is there going to be a purple sector 1? It is indeed. He's improving already. Nearly by a tenth. Around the hairpin of turn 5. Now all the way up through 6. Now into 7. Keeping the car in 6th gear all the way here. Up to 4. Down to 4th now for 8. Turn 8. Up the hill. Then down the hill we go. Into turn 9. Now around the hooking, curving turn 11 and 12. Have to be careful near not to invalidate. Doesn't do so. It's improving by nearly 2 tenths. Now it's another purple sector. Julian Peters is going to have to respond here with a better lap if he wants to keep pole position. 25 seconds to go in this race. Oh. Is Giovanni going to go around again? I don't think he's obviously going to go around again, but this is his attempt. Just over 10 seconds to go. He does improve. 17 thousandths is the difference. Julian's invalidated. And that's going to be that. Eno Vega not improving at the moment. We'll see what the sector 2 time is. He's after invalidating as well, and he was not really improving. Calais invalidated as well. Everyone's invalidating. Darius Bodine apparently improving by 2 tenths. What can he do? He can put himself into maybe the 2nd row here if he's lucky. Does exactly that into P4. Unseating the Finnish driver from there. And that's going to be all she wrote, folks. However, Giovanni is still pushing on, but he's got no battery left. Or he's not using his battery, so it doesn't really matter. That's just some trick I don't know about here, but that's going to be qualifying done and dusted. A few costly mistakes by drivers there. Well, that's going to be qualifying rounded up here. Giovanni Kennis will take P1. Julian Peters will take P2. Unai Vega and Darius Budian will be starting on the 2nd row. Kalle Pukinen and Callum Morris will be running into 3rd row. And Thom van den Berg and Camille Jacka, I hope I pronounced that correctly, in P7, P8. Malvin Aarons P9. Axel Foley P10. Ryan Shaheen P11. Ali Arbin P12. Didn't set a time, neither did Ryan Swift or the last person who DSQ'd was Michael Gambas. Insta joins. As just retired, do not leave the lobby. And we're finally about to get underway. 5 red lights are on, 5 red lights are out. Ryan racing, and Giovanni looks to get a decent start. Julian did a bit of a wheel spin there, and those two have left Unai Vega in the dust. Already sailing away, the rest of the grid all battling it out as we see a stake going miles off the track again and again. Callum Morris seems to be getting away quite clean. He's been out of position. Camille back in the lobby and he's okay. Malvin and Axel fighting. Michael fighting with Shadow and Swifty. It's all going on, and Kalle Kukkonen at the back of the grid. Unfortunately for him, Axel and Malvin now battling into turn 5. Captain Guan and Tom van der Berg in the Ferrari down to P9. Kalle Kukkonen and Ryan fighting for P12. Kalle back up 2 places ever since Elliot Arbin down to 14. Up the front though, it's unchanged in the top 2. Matador and Callum fighting, and we're just going to see majority of the grid opting to start in the mediums, just Malvin, Michael and Kalle all in the softs, as we see the Williams and the Aston of Ryan and Ryan, the 2 Ryans going side by side here. And just behind them, Kalle Kukkonen waiting to pick up the pieces of any mess or chaos that ensues. Naturally, the first person to cross the line will set the fastest lap of the race of lap 1. Kalle into the pits already. He might have wing damage, unfortunately for him. I'm sure I'll hear all about this later on after the race. Kalle, one of the nicest guys you'll ever actually meet, but when he gets angry, he is terrifying, and you can actually see his front wing is about to be changed. It's a disaster for our Finnish goat in Ero on lap 1. Anyway, further back up the field, Unai Vega has caught up with Julian and Giovanni, sticking with them as those two kind of go riding off into the sunset. So it might just be the top 3 versus the rest of the grid at this point. 2 separate races going on. Kamil Jaka, I think it's Jaka, is the leader of a small train from P4 all the way down to P7, which Michael and Ryan and Tom and Ryan and Elliot have all joined. So down to the rest of the grid basically. Kalle is a bit of ways away. He's on mediums again, so he'll be making at least one more stop. So Malvin, as Giovanni goes even faster down to the low 119.3s. So Malvin here and Michael, last 2 runners in the softs after 1 lap. As we're into lap 3 of 33, times are going to be flying in here. As Ryan and Tom battling side by side here, Ferrari versus Williams in Sector 1, with Elliot Arbin waiting in the wings, and he's gaining loads of time as a result of these 2 fighting. Further up the field, it's a right game of cat and mouse here, and Giovanni is able to weather the storm at this point. Yellow flag in Sector 1, it seems to be a Ferrari, it's going slow, that could be Tom. I think it is indeed. Yep, he's mowing the grass, unfortunately for him. Well, getting back up to the top here. Julian and Giovanni, 2 great drivers battling it out all season long. Lightning quick there. As Unai Vega is still hanging with them as well, having quite the resurgence he is, recently joining a new esports team as we said earlier in the broadcast. And Camille is unable to keep with them at the moment. He's 2 seconds away. Ryan sets the fastest lap of the race. Callum, our first driver of the day, Callum Morris, to get a 3-second time penalty for track limit violations. So it's all happening at the moment as Darius and Callum fighting into turn 5. The Romanian getting the better of the Englishman for now. And Ryan now up to P8 as he's overtaken Michael. So it's all go here at the moment. Kalle closing in on Tom after Tom had that unfortunate spin further down the field. However, Julian not really setting an impression here on Giovanni, managing to stay within the 1 second of DRS, but apart from that, he's not really making any inwards. However, Unai Vega is dropping ever so slightly. He's probably using a lot of his battery he already has. There's loads left. Now, speaking of Julian though, he has set the fastest lap of the race. As Callum's retired in the pits, that's enough for him today. So it's the Englishman. And then there were 13. Very difficult for safety cars to happen in Portimao. If you followed the F2 broadcast this evening, you'll see that there wasn't one there. And I think in F4 there wasn't a safety car either. Oh, Callum says he forgot his setup. Okay, well done. That's an unfortunate end to his race week. Giovanni now setting purple sector 2s. He's going to start to build a lead here. Going to try and break the DRS as best he can. And he really is pushing at this point. However, Julian's staying with him. Staying with him, but very, very close to losing that DRS, which you really need. Otherwise, you become vulnerable to the drivers behind. Unai Vega is closing in on Mr. Peters as well. Giovanni set the fastest lap of the race. Almost a 119 flat. Ryan and Malvin fighting further down the field. And Malvin Allens, in his return to Ero, is losing 2 positions here as Michael Gava's winner in F2. There's a bit of contact there. Winner in F2 has made up in the position as well. He's up to P7 now. On this fine Saturday evening. Round 5, up 12 in Ero. Last week we were in Hungary. Next week is the Mystery Grand Prix, where we could end up anywhere. Only spin the wheel will determine your fate. Which will be the second special event of the season. Callum, unfortunately, now has left the session. Elliot Arbin up to P9 after starting back at the grid. He's having a good race so far for him. Calais closing in ever so slightly on Tom, as Giovanni goes even faster now by nearly 3/10. Great stuff. Really piling on the pressure here is Julian Peters out of DRS now, and he's going to be vulnerable to Unai Vega. And Unai Vega has made the move on Julian here. An unorthodox part of the track, it must be said. But he's going to be the driver at risk now when the DRS gets wide open in just a few corners' time. Cameron Jacka is still miles away off the pace. He's even dropped further back now. He's 2.7 seconds away. And Giovanni, in a world of his own, nearly 3 seconds in the lead. Here we go, Julian already gaining before the DRS is open. Is he going to use that battery? Is he going to try this overtake? Unai not really defending this at all. DRS quite powerful in this track. And that is quite a clean overtake as normality has been resumed. However, Unai almost... Oh, it's the back of Giovanni. He's made his car ghost as a result of that. He's lost a bit of time. He didn't touch the back of him there. And these two squabbling lets Mr. Kennis fly off into the distance. Malvin and Michael also fighting further down in the field. for P7. As we're into lap 8 of 33, approaching 1/3 of the race distance. So the massive DRS train that had formed has been broken. It just seems to be all between Unai and Julian at the moment. It seems to be the main battle on the track here. Lemkis is very close to the back of Malvin Allen's. But here we go. A complete reversal of the last lap now. Unai back up to P2. These two are just going to be swapping positions the whole race long. However, does this actually help them? Because now Giovanna's over 4 seconds away. Malvin Allen's our first driver of the day to get a track limit penalty. I thought someone else did already. Callum did, but he's lashed it out. Of the drivers remaining, should I say then? Big deltas forming here. Every driver nearly outside of DRS. Just only one who isn't is Julian. That's the fight will stay with on the track at the moment. Malvin was staying within DRS of Lemkis too, but not really close enough to make a move when he does get DRS. Ryan's gotten after making a load of time there in Darius. What's going on there? Darius seeming to be struggling on the mediums early. Lots of snaps of oversteer as we're entering into lap 10 of 33. And again, second and third switching positions. But here comes Ryan Swift. He's going to attempt to make the move, and he does indeed with the assisted DRS into P5. He goes. Malvin and Lemkis yet again fighting. But this isn't done yet. Is the Romanian driver going to come back at the Englishman? Up through turn 4, a bit of a wobble there, but I think he's going to be okay. Just about is. And just like that, the Red Bull, or the RB, down to P6, the Aston Martin to P5. Now, Unai Vega has dropped back considerably. To Julian. He's going to have to really work hard to stay within DRS here. There's just been a massive report in F2 against Shadow. Again, this is par for the course. Anyway, sticking with the action here. Unai just under 4/10 away from Julian. Everyone keeping it relatively clean here so far. As Ryan Swift, the next driver, to get a penalty for track limits. It's going to derail his charge up the field. He'd only be losing one position if the race was to end now. Those softs must be dying now. They must be screaming. Axel now. Everyone's starting to get penalties. And the latest driver to get a 3-second. Now, as we see Lemkis and Malvin, them two have been battling all race long, which is good to see. And quite cleanly as well, must be said. Lemkis into the pits. He's going to look to undercut his rival, and we'll see what happens there. But he gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. schoolboy error, as they'd say. Now, Unai Vega still within DRS of Julian Peters. Giovanni Kennett is gone. He's just gone. He's 5.5 seconds clear. Where is Thies Korsman to provide the competition for his fellow Dutch compatriot Tom van den Berg, overtaking Michael as Michael is in the pits. And now Camel's caught up to these two, and he's going to have DRS by the looks of it. Now, the train begins to form. The question is, can Ryan get to the back of this train as well? As he's got Darius behind him, is also going to have DRS. Malvin finally into the pits, last of the soft runners to do so. Calais has closed into the drivers behind him. Well, Lenkis has already pitted, so it's kind of disaster for him. As Malvin's going to come out probably P11 here. Giovanni is 6 seconds clear. That's some distance. Now Unai Vega is starting to close into the back here, but so is Kamil Jacob. Like, he was over 2 seconds away at one point, and now it's less than half a second. Great stuff. As Unai Vega has a massive wobble there, and that's really going to compromise him. And Kamil not gaining any more, but he was there. They're both going to have DRS, so he is going to be protected, but that could have been quite ugly. Both drivers very close to the back of Julian Peters. And DRS wide open again on the run down to turn 5. And now Swifty is gaining on them, as Malvin now at a 10-second time penalty for speeding the pit lane. His day is done. He's retired. A nice little DRS train is going to be forming pretty soon here. Ryan is probably going to come to him within DRS, and he is indeed. So now 2 to 5. If Darius can get his acting gear as well, he'll be in this train. Elliot Arbin still a bit of ways away, nearly 12 seconds. Poor Calais. As Ryan enters into the pits, he's the first of these drivers to pit, which is going to be quite interesting. He's going to try and undercut everybody here. Does he go on to? He goes on to the hards. So we've seen a variety of strategies this weekend. We've seen soft to hard, medium to hard. We haven't seen hard to soft though, or hard to medium. No one's ever started on the hard in this race. So track position clearly more important here than being on the faster tire at the end. There we go. Michael very close to the back of Tom as well as they're going to sector 2. Now nearly 8 seconds is the difference. However, Camel very close to the back of Unai Vega, and he's going to go side by side him here through the final corner. Both are going to have DRS. Unai's going to have to concede the position. A bit of contact there, but no harm, no foul. Unai gets past. Camel though closing. Unai closing as well, and Julian. And Camel's going to stick it in there. That sounds bad. Camel's going to stick his nose in between Julian and Unai, but doesn't get the move to reset the stick. Up through turn 4 now. DRS are open wide again, but there's going to be no overtaking here down to turn 5. Somehow Darius Bodine is not capitalising on this, and it should be gaining at a rapid rate, but he's just not. He must be struggling on those old medium tyres. Getting really spicy here in the battle for P2. The question is, when do these drivers pit? Does someone be brave and try the undercut? Are they all sticking out for softs? That looks to be the optimal strategy here. I think that's what they're all going to do. Nobody into the pits now as we enter into lap 17 of 33. We're past half race distance. DRS wide open again. Is Unai Vega going to make the move? No, he's not. He's going to stick. He's just going to tuck in behind here. The Belgian man through turn 3, no contact there from anybody. Very, very clean. As we said, these drivers are putting on an absolute clinic this evening. Again, another helping of DRS. Is Unai close enough to make a move this time? He's not. He almost goes into the back of Julian there. And every driver. So Camel has a full battery to unload whenever he feels the time is right. And Julian now struggling. He's had a bit of a wobble there on the exit of 8. And really slow there as well. He must have been harvesting his battery. And is this the lap where Unai overtakes Julian? Is this the lap where any of these 3 drivers pits? Darius is gaining. He's gained about 6/10. Anyone into the pits? Yes. Julian into the pits. That frees Unai. That frees Camel. Is Camel going to make the move on Unai? I don't think so. But these 2 drivers should not be fighting if they want to get ahead of Julian now, as he attempts. As he's probably going to stick on the softs, I imagine. Giovanno's 10 seconds clear. No, well, Julian sticks on the hards. And Camel really on the push here. And Ryan Swift has gotten ahead of Julian just because he's pitted all that earlier. So the undercut has worked here as well. Ryan was quite a ways behind too. It didn't hurt that these drivers were also squabbling and fighting. As you see, it would appear to be a Ferrari in the background. 10.5 seconds is the lead here. Giovanni Kennis putting on a dominant display in F1. DRS wide open again on the run down to turn 1. However, Camel not got enough energy in the tank. Just got not enough track to get the overtake to be completed. He's going up the hill here, and Camel is very close. Is he going to have a look down the inside? He is into turn 5. Unai's going to have to give this one up, and that's it. The Polish man up to P2. The Spaniard down to P3. These drivers definitely hanging out for the softs now. If a safety car was to come out, it really benefits the top 5. Because at the moment, Ryan Swift, if there is indeed a safety car, kind of derails his plans, but he's going to jump all the way up if these drivers don't pit soon. He's gaining as well. Every lap that that passes by and these guys don't pit, he's just gaining and gaining. I'm expecting Campbell to come in the next lap or two. Doesn't come in this lap, neither does Unai. They obviously feel their pace is strong. They obviously feel their pace is strong, getting DRS helping from each other as well. It's a bit of a wobbly moment there from Unai. Darius closing in as well. He's going to try and join this party and get towed along. Elliot Arbin drifting further and further away from his Romanian competitor. However, Ryan Swift closing in like a homing missile. Every lap he stays out, or they stay out, sorry, it's just a better advantage for him because they're on slower tyres. They're obviously going to be on softs now towards the end of this race. But that's not going to matter if Ryan's already going to be 10-15 seconds up the hill. As we see in the background there just a second ago, the mistake of Giovanni, a different part of the track. As he's about to start lap 21 of 33. Further back up the field, Darius now almost within DRS. He is within DRS. So he's finally closed in. He's gained over 1.5 seconds as Unai Vega we see having a bit of a wobble. And that's going to compromise him now as they get on the main straight. Matador into the pits. And this brings Elliot Arbin up to P4, but the top 4 all yet to pit. Matador does indeed go on to the softs. Ryan has overtaken him, and so is Julian, interestingly enough. So all the good progress he's made, he's going to have to redo it now in these next 5 or so laps, where those softs are miles faster than the hards. Camel needs to capitalise on that, on this tyre differential that he has. And you expect to see him gain rapidly here, corner by corner, which he indeed is doing. He's already gained 3 tenths in about just as many corners, about 3 corners. He's already well within DRS range as well. So the medium to soft really was the strategy here by the looks of it. We're going to see what Giovanni does. He's obviously going to go on to the softs. Unai Vega into the pits. Darius Bodine up to P2. He still has to pit though, himself. Where does Unai Vega come out now? That is the question here. Elliot Arbin's going to go overtake him. Is Ryan though? That's the question. He's already out and moving. It's going to be very, very close here between these two. Or is it? No, it's not. Unai Vega all the way down to P7. Now the interesting thing here is that Michael Gavis doesn't need to pit again, as he already has done so. So he could end up either being a hindrance or a benefit to the Spaniard in the Mercedes. The issue he faces is when does he come up to the back of him? So Ryan's put himself in a good position here. He's in P3 at the moment. Giovanni 15 seconds clear of his competitor. However, is Ryan... I don't think he's going to come out... no, he's not. He's going to be about 10 seconds away. But is Darius going to come out ahead of Giovanni? That's the question here. No, he's into the pits as well, so that's not going to be a situation. Could have held out for a safety car and hoped for a miracle. Didn't happen. But where is Ryan going to come out in relation to Darius? That's an interesting question. Darius hasn't pitched yet, so Ryan is going to come out ahead of him. Matador is closing in as well. Everyone's dropping onto the softs now. Fastest lap of the race by Camel. So a real interesting situation developing here, where you've got Matador in the softs, Julian on the 5-lap old hards, Giovanno's still riding off into the sunset. That's a foregone conclusion. But it's still not set in stone, the remaining 2 spots on the podium. Anyone's real guess at this point is Elliot Arby gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. As Julian Peters really going to have to push here, and he's on the wrong tyre, it has to be said. So all 3 compounds being used at the moment. Bruno Vega did indeed get past Michael Axel with another 3-second time penalty. Now, he's going to have to get past Julian quite quickly here if he wants to get back into that podium. Well, at the moment though, with the 3-second time penalty, this is for the last podium spot. And is he going to have DRS? That's the question. I don't think he is. He's not. Matador getting past Ryan. And now that gap is closing. Well, it was, and now it's just now normal service is resumed. There's a lock up there from the Alpine and Matador. Camel Jacka feeling the pressure from Ryan, who's been one of the more interesting characters in this race, it must be said. Almost goes into the back of the Alpine there. And Julian Peters just that little bit away, and he's holding up Unai Vega, who's on these fresh soft tyres. He's going to want to make his way back up the field ASAP. He's going to be hoping for P2. Strategy-wise, he's done the right thing. There's been no safety car either, so he's been all the beneficiary of a decent strategy. As Giovanni goes even faster into the 117s now, great stuff. Darius Badin going to be hoping to get past Michael Galvez here ASAP as Michael's on those older, worn, harder tyres. And he just sails by him. Doesn't even need to use his battery. Kalle Pukinen on 22-lap-old mediums. He's back up to P8. Running the race of his life here. Now, Julian has been overtaken by Unai and he has to keep with him. That's the goal. Just stay within his DRS, as Darius is now also closing in. So is Michael, all within DRS. This quartet of drivers trying to keep with one another. As Michael's just ever so slightly just dropped out of DRS, he's going to have to push to get back into it. Ryan Swift though is staying with Camo as best he can, and he's staying within DRS range. This is great for him. Oh, that's all he, well, as I say that, he's almost about to drop out of it. But this is all he needs to do. As Giovanni goes even faster just for the lols, this is all he needs to do to get this last podium spot, because the DRS is going to help him. And it's just like that. He's gained 2 tenths in Camel, and he's probably put 2 tenths extra tenths between himself and Unai Vega. There's a mile off the track there. That's sure to be a track limit warning. A bit of a wobble there from Ryan. The tyres maybe starting to grain just that little bit. Hello Samuel, welcome to the stream. As just a handful of laps to go here, as now Darius Bodine is probably going to look to get this move done on the softs against Unai Vega, even though he does have a penalty. Julian Peters staying with this pack as well, even though he's on the hard compound tyres. Mad or broken? It's broken the DRS between himself and Ryan. That's bad news for Ryan, to be honest. At the moment though, Ryan is close. He's going to be close to keeping P3. Coming towards the pinnacle or the climax of this race, the finale, so to speak. Elliot Arbin closing in on Kalle Pukkinen. Kalle has nearly done this whole race on the same set of tyres after a lap 1 incident. And he's got Elliot Arbin right on the back of him here. He's guaranteed P9. Can he get P8? That's the question. Well, to be honest, Elliot's got a few seconds now, but as well as 6 seconds, doesn't really matter. Back up the front here, Unai Vega is battling for 3rd place. As we see a bit more of the remnants of smoke. It's not as bad as it was last week, but my god, it was dreadful when it was just black smoke. DRS wide open again for Unai, as the train that had formed, the quartet of drivers, the band is broken up. Elliot Arbin has overtaken Kalle, but Kalle is going to have to stay with him. DRS. And now nearly 5th. Just over 14 seconds is the lead between P1 and P2. This has been an absolutely dominant display by Giovanni Kennis. At the tops here, I don't think we've seen such a dominant race this season anyway. Tias did a few of these last season, and in seasons past it was probably Aurelien Le Penroux who drove in this convincingly. Some of the big guns in F1 Easters, as Julian Peters mowing the grass and the gravel there. Kalle into the pits. Does he have a puncture? He does not. But this is going to cement the grid here. Looks like Unai Vega is going to get P4. Well, I spoke too soon. Oh! I shouldn't have said anything. Everyone's getting penalties now. I think the tyres have just really died off, and this is the point now where concentration slips as well, as there's just a few laps to go. Giovanni starting lap 30 of 33. And poor Calais to the back of the grid. But can he catch the field? Can he get P11 or potentially even P10? He is going to be on those fresher, faster tyres. As Julian Peters has had enough, he's retired. Amazingly, he's done the whole race just to retire, just 4 laps to go. Unfortunately for him, his evening is over. Julian saying he's had an issue with his wheel. As we're seeing now, this could have been an actual P2, even, well, no, P3 anyway, for Unai, but he's probably going to have to settle for P5 at this rate. And Ryan now closing in. Maybe the softs are really starting to die out now as we're entering into lap 31 and 33. He's going to have DRS. He's going to be closing in on Camo. Those hards definitely the faster tyre now. This is what we were saying the last few laps of this race, that the hards are just going to be that better tyre. And the last driver on them is Ryan himself, as Julian did retire. And just like that, Ryan makes the move. But here comes Matador. We finally got a bit of racing in our hands here. Matador getting the place back straight away. This is it. It's game on now, even though there is a penalty involved. These two giving us some action on the track. The assistant DRS as we enter into lap 32 of 33 as Giovanna crosses the start-finish line. It's going to all kick off as we expect Ryan to get this overtake done with the assist of DRS. He is going to have, well, his tyres are just going to be in a better state than Matador's. Is he going to get the move though? He's gaining, but I don't think he's got enough track. No. Yellow flag as well in sector 2. Matador has to crawl through turn 3 there. And you can see Darius Badian's V-carb in the background. Further down the field, no one really having any battles at this point. But here we go again, these two into turn 5. Exact copy of last lap, except this time Ryan was on the inside, Matador on the outside, and Ryan gets the move now. Now, the question is, can he pull that magic 3 seconds away? He doesn't have a lot of time left to do it. If he can break the DRS, there's a chance. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that even. As Giovanna will cross the line for the final time to start the last lap of this race. And Calais has overtaken Axel Foley. I don't know what's happened there. But Matador staying with Ryan. He's going to probably get the overtake done here with the assistant DRS. He is on the outside of turn 1. But not giving this up either is the Englishman. Matador having a bit of oversteer there and almost losing the car into turn 4. That could have been disastrous. However, he's somehow got a better exit than the Aston Martin. There's a bit of wheel banging there. There's a bit of argy-bargy all the way. And the Aston Martin of Swift seeming to come out better than Matador. However, the 3-second time penalty is going to prove to be enough here. But he's been so consistent all race. He's been absolutely dominant. 20 seconds is the gap that he's taken a dump on the opposition. Giovanna Canis will win round 5. Very, very convincingly, may we just add as well. The battle for second place will be won by Kamil Jatka. Even though Ryan will cross... Oh. Well, it was very close to the line, but Matador will finish P2, Swifty will finish P3. Darius Bardin will finish P4 after claiming he was washed. Una Vega will finish in P5. Lemkis in P6 after serving a 10-second fine penalty. Elliot Albin will cross in P7. Next across the line will be Ryan Shahinen. However, Calais cooking very close to the back of him on those fresh softs. Ryan will cross in P8, but Callie will take P8. Followed by Thom, and finally Axel Foley somewhere in the distance. No, he just decided to blow up his tyres. So in the end, it wasn't really close. Quite a dominant display. Giovanni Canis wins in Portugal. Camel Jacket in P2. Ryan Swifty in P3. Darius Bodine in P4. Uno Vega in P5. Michael Gavez in P6 after a dominant display in F2. Ellie Arb in P7. Callie Pukin in P8. Ryan Shaheen in P9. Thom and Axel round out the finishers. Julian, Malvin and Callum round out the DNFers. Next week is the Mystery Grand Prix, which leads to a bit of chaos as always, as nobody knows what track they're on. And stay tuned, we will be back Friday at 6 p.m, where F4 will be back in action. Have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy the race in Qatar tomorrow if you are watching it.